The Mythbusters have been behind the wheel and in the saddle to find out which is greener, the car or the bike. And finally, the data is in. So after some swift consulting, equating, and calculating, the guys have the emissions verdict.
After running the numbers and looking at the outputs of pollutant gases from all the vehicles and getting some expert analysis from Professor Kent Johnson of the University of California, Riverside, we came up with some surprising results.
First up in the Mythbusters motorcycle versus car data crunch is fuel efficiency.
Across all of the vehicles, the results were consistent. Motorcycles use less fuel than cars.
Which makes sense. Motorcycles are lighter than cars, and thus they require less energy to push themselves forward.
And you'd think that using less fuel would make them better for the environment.
But you'd be wrong. From an emissions standpoint, let's take a look at the most populous of the gases that these vehicles put out, carbon dioxide.
It's nasty. It's a greenhouse gas, so it contributes to global warming, and it makes up 90% of the emissions of an internal combustion engine.
And because it's a direct byproduct of burning fuel, motorcycles, which burn less fuel, consistently produce less carbon dioxide than cars. But the other pollutant gases we measured tell a totally different story.
Hydrocarbons, for example, cause smog, cancer, asthma, emphysema, and a host of other nasties, and motorcycles produce far more than cars.
Oxides of nitrogen, responsible for smog, lung ailments, and acid rain. Motorcycles produced up to 3,200% more than cars.
And carbon monoxide is an air pollutant and poisonous for animals to breathe. Well, motorcycles produce up to 8,000% more than cars.
In summary, while we found that motorcycles were more fuel efficient than cars and put out a lot less carbon dioxide, the amount of polluting gases they put out was vastly worse.
This myth is about someone that traded the car for a motorcycle because they believed it was better for the environment.
And they were wrong. At best, it's a wash. Motorcycles are just as bad for the environment as cars. At worst, they're far worse.